Hello ladies, Kimberly Loveland, dating relationship coach. Today I wanted to talk about symphonic dating. Well, what's symphonic dating, you ask? Symphonic dating is dating a symphony of men. In a symphony orchestra, you have all these different instruments, which each one sounds different, and they're all playing different melodies. So it's just like that, but with men. So each man you date, they're going to be different types of men, and they're each going to have a different melody to play for you, and you get to see how you harmonize with each one of them. Women today have gotten to a point, and I used to be this way too, my hand raised here, I'm included, where you would go out on a great first date with a guy. Maybe you had a couple dates. Now, he hasn't even asked you to be exclusive, but already you're like, this is the guy for me. You're laser focused on him. And so you kind of really kind of take yourself off the market. Even if you didn't take yourself off the dating sites, you kind of have all your hopes and dreams pinned on this one guy. So you kind of just make yourself available to him and him alone, and all that energy is laser focused on there. Now, why is that a bad thing? Well, let me tell you why that's a bad thing. So in symphonic dating, you want to date at least 3 different men. You want to open up your horizons as long as they're a nice guy. I always suggest, vetting a guy first with phone calls. As long as they're a nice guy, go ahead and go out with them. Each man is like free therapy. He's a messenger to you. He's going to teach you something. Go out at least 3 at a time, more if you can handle it. And maybe, after 3 or 4 dates, nothing's developing, there's no attraction there. At that point, let him go, make room for another guy in your dating orbit and bring him in. Okay? So by dating multiple men, it's going to do a couple of things. One is that you really get to know more about you and what you want. You're not going to be as laser focused on one man. And the idea too here is dating until you get the commitment that you want and desire, whether that looks like a long-term relationship, if that looks like moving in together, or if that looks like, hey, dating up until somebody puts a ring on your finger. You can do that. You are the chooser. You are the prize. Just like in nature, you have one egg, and that is fertilized by lots of little sperms trying to beat it out for each other. But there's one egg, millions of sperms. You are the egg. You are the prize. Just like animals in nature. Like if you look at birds, which ones are the more colorful ones? Well, they're the males because they have to catch the female's eye and they're going to fight over her. That's what you want. I'm going to liken this here as well with something I call the auction effect. So the auction effect, I'm going to describe this to you. Okay? So we all know this famous online auction site. I'm not going to say the name, but you know who I'm talking about. And they usually have an option, not always, but sometimes have an option of a buy now button. And then they may have an auction button. Well, let's say that something that's kind of rare, you really got your eye on, and you find the buy now button, and you're like thinking about it, and you're like, all right, well, it's a little more than I want to pay for it, but I can buy it right now, and then I don't have to worry about it. I've just bought it. I don't have to worry about winning the auction. I've just bought it, even though I've paid a little bit more. Now, let's talk about what happens with the auction. So let's say there is no buy now button. It's something that's kind of rare that you really, really wanted. And so you're looking at what the auction's going at now. You go in, you decide how much you're willing to spend, and right now you're winning the auction. And you feel good. You feel good that you're winning the auction right now. But you notice when the auction ends, and so you're keeping an eye on it while that auction is ending. You're keeping an eye on it, keeping an eye on it. Am I still winning? What's happening here? You're putting a lot of time and thought. Well, now somebody's beating you. So now you've got to go in and debate again. Well, do I want to put a higher bid on that? Or do I want to, just let it go? Well, I'm going to put a higher bid on that because I really, really want it. So you put a higher bid in and you keep watching, you keep watching, you keep watching. Now let's say at the end of this auction, You now have won. After days of watching it and this big monetary investment, you have won the item. Now, after all that time and money you have put into it, how does it feel for you once you've won that item? It feels amazing. Now, the buy now button, well, that can feel okay, but you did that instantly. It was done. That decision was made right then and there. You knew you were going to get it, and then you didn't think about it anymore until you got it in the mail. But with the auction, you've had to put a lot of time and money and effort into it. It's the same way with men. So if a man decides on the third date he wants to be exclusive and he takes you off the market right away, he doesn't have to work anymore. That's that buy now button. He doesn't have to work anymore. However, if you let him know what you're looking for, like if you want to get married, you say, I want to be a wife. I don't want to just be a girlfriend. I want to be a wife. You're not saying with him specifically. You're saying that's what you want in the future. You want to be a wife. And you want to keep, it feels good what we've got right now, but I want to keep my options open because I want to be a wife. So you keep your options open and you keep dating. And during this time, this man is like the auction effect. He's having to put more money and time and effort into you. Now, there may be men that are not okay with you seeing other men. They don't want to work for you. Do you want a man who doesn't want to work for you? Do you want a man that doesn't want to win you the prize? No. So let him go graciously and just decide he's not the one. There's another 100 men behind him that want you. They're out there screaming, I want to date you. Maybe not all at the same time, you can date a few at a time, but they're out there. Trust me, ladies. Great men are out there and they want to date you, and they're not going to be put off by this. So symphonic dating does that. And I'm going to tell you about me and my guy. So me and my guy, I did this. I said, I don't want to be just a girlfriend. I want to be a wife. He said, well, can we look at this again in 6 months? And I said, all right, we'll take a look at it again in 6 months. After 7 months had passed, it had been 7 months at this point, and I finally, we were talking about where we were headed. I'm like, where do you see us going? And, he's like, I see us going towards marriage. I'm like, all right, then in that case, your actions have proven over the past 7 months what your intentions are. There weren't just words, his actions matched it. And so I agreed. And this has been a fantastic relationship. It's just going so wonderfully. I feel so happy, more happy than I've ever felt. In that 7 months, I really got to know him, got to know his intentions. He had to work for me, and he's still doing all these wonderful things for me. I get flowers all the time brought for me. He picks me up at the door when we go for a date. Basically, like he'll drop me off at the door, like it's the movie theater, restaurant, whatever. He'll go park the car and come back. Same thing when it's time to leave. He'll go get the car and come pick me up at the door. So this stuff does work, ladies. Now, another big component of symphonic dating. Now, besides the fact that you want to treat them all the same, you don't want to favor any one particular guy. You're keeping your options open to see what happens. You're also dating yourself. And this is something that married women and women that are already in relationships can do. You're dating yourself. So you want to make sure you have this full, juicy, wonderful life. You want to make sure that you're involved in different things like going out with your friends, treating yourself to a spa day, maybe a manicure, pedicure, meetup groups. There's single meetup groups. There's meetup groups for any kind of hobby that you can even imagine. A dance class. Maybe you want to take pottery. Anything like that. Get out of your comfort zone and go and do it. I'm an introvert. It's always been hard for me, but I always look back on the things that I made myself go out and do, and I've never regretted it because only good things have ever happened from it. But I'm involved in theater group. I'm a musician, so I go out and play. There's different things that I do in my life that, if he wants to be part of it, great. If not, that's my thing, and I'm out there having fun and fulfilling myself, fulfilling my own soul. So date yourself, ladies. Self-care, just get out there, have fun. Now, the third component of this is also that you want to date the world. Now, what I mean by dating the world, and again, married women and women in relationships can do this, By dating the world, you are being in your feminine energy and you are practicing, smile on your face. You're practicing your feminine energy feeling statements. You're in line at the coffee shop and somebody says, "How was your day?" And you can say, "I feel so happy today. The sun is shining and it feels warm on my face." And notice the reaction. And lean back. Basically you're standing in line. Lean back on one foot. Just, be in the moment. Be present. But you're practicing this with the world. You're not actually going out on dates with the world, obviously, but you are practicing your feminine energy with the world. So that when you are on dates, you're also practicing leaning back and being in your feminine energy. But the more you practice it in your everyday life, the more it becomes second nature and you'll just automatically be in it and it won't feel weird anymore. So ladies, get out there, symphonic date, enjoy the benefits of symphonic dating. Remember that you are the prize and that you are the chooser. After all, let's think about this. Who is the one that asks them to marry them? It's the man. The man asks, but you actually are the one that gets to say yes or no. So you are the chooser here. Make sure to get out there and see what's out there and not commit right away. Not commit until you're absolutely sure that you've got to know the man, that this is, his actions have been there, that have proven what he's going to be for you, and that you are going to be so much happier. Trust me, it worked out wonderfully for me. And I know symphonic dating will be wonderful for you. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button and hit the bell for notifications. And until next time, bye.